Hello and welcome to Philosophy 101, Introduction to Logic. My name is Mia Wood and I'll be your instructor this semester. I'm looking forward to working with you and I hope that you will rely on me to help guide you through the course. Now, this video is just an overview of the course. So I'll be walking you through the logistics of the course, how it's laid out on Sakai, as well as what we're doing, when we're doing it, how we're doing it. So our course as a survey course covers a fair amount of territory, and in that sense it can be at times a little bit overwhelming, but I hope that with the proper support and good time management you will not feel as though you are struggling to stay afloat. I know that that oftentimes happens when you're working in a short semester and also working in an online program. So just know that I'm aware of those things and that, again, I have some ideas in mind to help you feel supported in the course and to facilitate your success. So let's go ahead and take a look at our course, how it's laid out on Sakai, and then the details of what we're doing, when we're going to do it, and how we're going to do it. If you have any questions, let me know. You can reach me via email, and I will hold regular office hours, virtual office hours. More on that later. In addition, if you want to meet outside of office hours, we can certainly make that happen. I know that our schedules may not always coincide. All right, so let me show you around the course. Okay, so here we are on our course homepage, or at our course homepage. It should be the case that the general navigational features of our site are the same as your other courses. So, for example, you've got your overview, you've got your start here, which is laid out in a way that should be familiar, your syllabus, and then again, more specifically, each week laid out in the same way. Not only each week in our course is it the case that our course is laid out the same way, but it should also be the case that other courses that you are taking or have taken have the weekly items laid out in the same way. It should be the case that everything that I've got here is up to date, and what I mean by that is that the settings for quizzes and assessments and so forth are correct, and that it's also the case that if you go into the syllabus, that dates for our assignments, and by assignments I mean very broadly construed, what we're going to do each week, are correct. But if anything looks strange to you, please don't hesitate to let me know. Even though I make updates and I adjust material, it doesn't mean that my settings always are as correctly updated as should be. So, I mean, everything seems, when I take a cursory look, to be okay, but you'll let me know if you run into any trouble. Please don't be shy about that. Okay, so you have access to our syllabus not only by the navigational button on the left side of your page, but also under resources. Under resources, you'll find obviously not just the syllabus and the weekly schedule, but you'll also find our textbooks. Our textbook. It is laid out chapter by chapter. In addition, you will find our workbooks and exercise keys, and I strongly encourage you to complete as many exercises from our textbook as possible and check your work using the workbook. That's because this course is really a skills based course. We are going to build and hone existing skills, and that just requires practice. So please take advantage of as much practice as possible. Please also take advantage of, I'm going to click on the to-do list here, take advantage of videos that involve practice. And the reason for that, again, is so that you get some either new ideas about how you can work on the material, or the practice that you watch and do with me in a video reinforces what you're already thinking. Okay, so the way that our to-do list is laid out is the same for each week. That is, there's stuff to read, stuff to watch, and stuff to complete. And my advice to you is, before you complete any items, um, either read the text or watch some videos, so that you are ready to practice, and then do some practice. So it may be the case that you decide that, reading the textbook is sufficient for your needs. Or it may be the case that you read the textbook and you say, I'm not quite sure what Mia's doing here, whatever it is. You might then go to one of the videos. Now, the videos are laid out in terms of stuff that I'm proposing that you watch, and then stuff that's optional. But in truth, it really is all optional, right? You're going to decide what works for you in terms of the videos and in terms of what you're reading. But it should be the case that the reading and the videos work together to provide for you a pretty robust account of the material that we're covering. So you've got to, obviously there's a lot. I don't want to overwhelm you at the same time. I give you a lot of options because I want you to be able to look at something that might be helpful to you in a way that some other video wasn't. So these little blurbs might be useful to you in deciding what to watch. You'll also notice that some of the videos come from other sources. In other words, most of the videos there are videos that I create, and most of those are going to work hand in hand with the textbook. That said, there are some outside videos that I think are really useful to giving you a good understanding of what it is that we're talking about when we talk about, a specific concept or a specific skill. Lastly, under complete, you'll see that there are quizzes. You'll see that there are forum posts. Each of your forum posts is, except for the first one, is due on a Thursday. The reason why the first forum post is due on a Friday is because our course starts on a Tuesday. So I figure, you need a couple days to settle in, and then you can make your first post, and then your reply is due on a Sunday. Now, if when you look at the forum instructions or the overview, you have any questions, let me know. Don't wait. How do you let me know? Well, you can use our email tool, but it's also the case that I will be available not only for regular office hours via video conference, the video conference tool that we use, but it's also the case that I can meet with you outside of those office hours. I recognize that your schedules are really busy, so it may be the case that you say, I can't make it to Mia's hours. You just let me know, and then we'll figure out something else. But I'm here to facilitate your learning, and as much as possible, I hope you will take advantage of whatever help I can offer you. Okay, so I do want to alert your attention to weeks 2 and 3, because most of us find the material that we're covering in week 2, that is categorical logic, and then continuing in week 3 with categorical logic, but then also natural deduction, really difficult. So most people find this material difficult. It's technical, it's complicated. There's nothing wrong with you if you find it difficult. We tend to fall into one of two camps. We either think it's super easy, we just get it, or we find it really, really, really hard. Most of us fall into the latter camp. The good news is that if you find it really, really hard, but you're willing to really work at it, when it does begin to make sense to you, the whole set of systems open up. So once you get it, you get it. For those of us who just get it right away, the tricky part for us is being able to talk about it, right? When something seems obvious, as in it's just self-evident, it needs no explanation, and yet you need to explain in some way, you need to show your work, as it were, that's when things get tricky. So I encourage you to set aside as much time as you can for weeks 2 and 3 to take advantage of whatever help I can offer, to really manage your time so that you can drill, 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 and then drill some more with the practice materials. In addition, take advantage of, for example, the various videos that are either explainers, tutorials, or outright lectures. Now, if an exam or a quiz doesn't go well, don't stress. We've got extra credit quizzes and we've got retest options. So if you do poorly on an exam, we have 3 exams total, retest, and I'll take your best score, right? The more you work on this, the better things go in terms of your understanding as well as, and I believe, your success in the course. And so if you want a retest, I'm happy to provide a retest, and I will take your best score. The extra credit quizzes will simply add on to an existing score that you have. So if you have questions about that, let me know. I hope it's the case that the explanations that I provide to you in the syllabus, as well as on the page for the quiz or the exam itself, will help make sense of that. But again, let me know. The last thing, so what do we have to do in terms of assessments? Well, we've got, like I said, some quizzes, we've got forums, and then we also have exams. But then I'm also going to ask you to write a short paper. So let me go to assignments. Oh, sorry, I'm under student view, so the assignment doesn't show up, but I'll tell you a bit about the assignment. Basically, you are going to read it's an older article from the 1990s about sort of the morality of nursing. In other words, kind of how should we think about nursing in at the time, the 20th century, but as we're approaching the 21st century, how do we need to think about nursing today versus, 50 years ago, 100 years ago. So what you're going to do is apply your skills from some of the skills, I should say, that we're working on in this course to a short paper. I'll give you some feedback and then you will revise the paper. So most people find that to be a pretty painless experience. But of course, if you want to talk about it, by all means, let me know. Okay, so I've now navigated to the Start Here page, how the course works. And here you'll find an overview of what we're doing each week. So it should be the case that you have a pretty good idea of what we're going to do, when we're going to do it, how we're going to do it. And then as we get into the course, you'll get a better idea of why we're doing what we're doing. And what I mean by that is not just, well, you're fulfilling a requirement. What I mean more is this. What you're doing in this course is going to, let's see, hold on just a second. What you're doing in this course is going to help you develop and hone your reasoning skills. So why are we doing what we're doing? Well, what we want to be able to do is place before us for analysis as an object of study what we do every day. So it is the case that you engage in reasoning every single day. You're nurses. You have to, under oftentimes very trying circumstances, reason quickly, effectively, and come up with really good solutions. Come up with really good options, come up with really good plans. So what we do in this course is we study what it is that's happening when we engage in this critical reasoning process. What is it to say that we have deliberated and diagnosed a problem or come up with a solution? So we're getting the sort of theoretical and technical frameworks in this course that we can use as we do what we do every day. Okay, so I hope I haven't gone on too far, or sorry, gone on too long. But if I have, I hope it's at least to the end of giving you a pretty good idea of what we're going to be doing in the course, when we're going to do it, and how we're going to do it. So please look out for announcements each week. I'm going to send out an announcement that gives you a reminder about what's happening for each week in the course. And then I'm not interested in overwhelming you with announcements, but if there's something worth pointing out, I will do that via an announcement. But one other, so to that end, for example, I will send to you an update on the video conference setup for office hours and for other virtual meetings. Okay, thanks for your time. I'm excited to work with you. Please noodle around in the course as much as is comfortable for you and as your time permits. And I can't wait to start working with you on July 2nd.